How did it all begin for you, really? Playing football and then coming to Watford. What was the pathway of that?
Well, I grew up in Jamaica, and I came to England when I was 13 years old, and then I went to a school.
But you came. Did you come to play,
No, no, no,
John?
no,
As a
no, no,
was
no,
you?
no,
It wasn't like you were seen
no,
as a
no, 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 no,
13-year-old who was fantastic.
no,
And
no.
no,
My dad was a diplomat. He came as military
yeah,
attaché. He was a colonel in the army, so he came on a 4-year posting. So I knew I was coming to England when I was 13. I was going to go back to
yeah,
Jamaica when I'm 17. But while I'm here, I'm going to play football. So of course, I went to a rugby school. Didn't play football at school. My dad played football for Jamaica. I played football growing up in Jamaica, so I always played football. So I knew I would always play football. If I went back to Jamaica, I would have played football. I got offered a scholarship to Washington University, a football scholarship, so I was going to do that. But obviously, I was playing local football for Sudbury Court by Wembley, a non-league team, and a scout saw me. Taxi driver knew a scout who saw me playing and recommended me to the scout. Now, if that taxi driver didn't stop, I would never have been spotted. That's hard for people to understand because they feel that, they had academies and they know where the good players are. You know, Harry, you had to be lucky to be
yeah,
spotted back then. Whereas now,
absolutely.
any 10-year-old kid, any 6-year-old kid is going to be at an academy. So I was lucky to be spotted.
Yeah, and yeah, as you say today, if they can tie their boots up right, they're in the academy, aren't they?
Absolutely. So
You
no
know,
one's going to slip through the net
whereas
now. Whereas back then, and you must have known loads of good players, as I did growing up, who were never spotted and
loads,
never made it.
loads and loads, kids with real ability. Yeah, you went there at 15.
No, at Sudbury. So I played for my local youth club, Stowe Boys Club. Then at 16, I went to Sudbury Court to play for the men's team, and that's when they spotted me and recommended me to a scout. So I started training at Watford, and then Watford offered me a contract. I mean, my dad had already gone back to sort the house out in Jamaica. I was going to go to America, and this is like less than a year before I actually signed. I was already going back to America. So I decided to then stay and play. And I could have gone to a better club with Graham Taylor because they do look after young players.
John would have gone into the youth team, and suddenly he's playing. What you were 16, John, were you?
I was 17 when I signed.
17. So you've gone there. What you started in the South East Counties League, or
Because I was 17, because I was in the lower six, I signed as a professional, although I'm 17.
right?
And the season started, and we had one game. This is my first game. I played one youth team game in the May at the end of that season. I've now signed the contract. I played one reserve game. So I played one youth team game, one reserve game on the Saturday, because on the Saturday, as you will know back then, the first team played away at Newcastle. The reserves play at home. Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Played at Vicarage Road. You played on the pitch.
Yeah, and this is my first game against Swindon. 3 o'clock, proper football. Saturday, 3 o'clock. Scored a goal. Luther got sent off against Newcastle. The first game of the season. This is my one and only game in the reserves. Luther gets sent off against Newcastle that day. And what automatically happened back then is that you just missed the next game and he got sent off. So the second game of the season is against Oldham at home. Graham Taylor put me on the bench for the first team. I've only had one reserve game, one youth team game. Graham Taylor puts me on the bench against Oldham. Second game of the season, I came on for the last 12 minutes as a sub against Oldham. I must have done okay. So the third game of the season, Luther comes back into the team, but he doesn't leave me out. He doesn't even put me on the bench. He puts me in the team, and he leaves somebody else out.
Brilliant.
Third game of the season against Chelsea away, and
Fantastic.
I never left the first team after that. So I never played any
Amazing.
games, never played any reserve games. But that is why I was lucky, because had I been in the country by myself, my mum and dad gone back, I'm in the reserves, I'm in the youth team, I'm in the reserves for 2 years, it's not working out.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't have any family here, no mum, no dad, no cousins. But because I'm in the first team, Harry, and if your football goes well, no matter where you are,
Of course.
your life goes well.
You're happy.
I was fortunate that I was in the first team ever since.